This is a new Three Musketeers illustration. I am on chapter 9. Right off the bat, I started with a mistake. I did the drawing and then I realized how out of center it was. Oh well, it's not a big deal, it just bothers me a bit. Anyway, it's been a while since I've continued illustrating this book. It's been more than a year, I think. Well, I decided to continue it now. In the last chapter, D'Artagnan was talking to Mr. Bonacieux about the kidnapping of his wife and how it seems to be done by the cardinal in order to hurt the Queen of France. So he asked D'Artagnan for help saving his wife. In this chapter, D'Artagnan is explaining what happened to the Three Musketeers. And then the cardinal's guards come over to D'Artagnan's apartment and they arrest Monsieur Bonacieux. D'Artagnan lets them arrest him since the only way he can really help him is if he plays along. So after the guards take Bonacieux away, they all understand what is happening except Porthos, who is a bit slow, but they decide to do the famous sermon or phrase, they all for one and one for all. And that is the part that I decided to illustrate. So Porthos is here on the right, looking a bit confused since he's the only one that doesn't quite understand what is going on, and the others are telling him to just put his hand and do the sermon. I've said it before, but since it's been a long time since I've painted this book, I will say it again. The Three Musketeers is a historical fiction book, but I wanted to come up with my own costumes and looks, so I'm painting it more in a fantasy way. I'm not trying to paint them in a historically accurate way. I am painting with egg tempera paints and the paper is just toned mixed media paper. I started with an underpainting. At first I was doing it in red since I've used that color before, but I decided to change course and I used more of a yellow for it instead. I just felt like experimenting with other colors. I read that the reds work really well because they tend to give some reddish hues to the skin tones, so I wanted to try with the yellow this time. To be honest, I don't think there's that much of a difference, probably because they are both warm colors, but I'm also thinking that the toned paper already gives some overall warmth since it's a warm brown toned paper. Maybe one day I'll feel like trying a drastic color underneath, just to see what it gives. In general, I am starting these ones in a watercolor way, and I'm adding more pigment gradually. When I look back on the previous illustrations I've done for this book, I am not too happy with them now. There are a few that I do still like, but the latest ones not so much. So I wanted to find out why I didn't seem to like them. I guess they don't have that much definition. So for this one I decided to add some line work, still using the tempera but trying to delineate with a small brush certain parts of the piece. I felt like maybe that would help make it more defined. I think this one did come out better than my previous ones. And I think I will try adding more of that line work with the same paint to other illustrations too. I like that adding it in a few places, it still looks like a painting and not like a flat cartoony style. I don't want these pieces to be in a flat cartoony style. That's what my cute animals paintings are for. Although it's been a while since I've painted for this book, I do think it's impressive I'm up to 9 of them. I also managed to illustrate the entire first Harry Potter book. I'm still working on the second one. But to be fair, they do have way less chapters than this one. This one has 66 chapters. I'm not even close to halfway through the book. And then there's the second book, and then the third book. I may never finish it, but at least it's fun. It's good that picking up books to illustrate can help me not only improve but also keep putting out portfolio pieces. Although it's more of a personal portfolio because I've never really tried selling the traditional pieces. I only do commissions digitally because it's so much more convenient when it comes to changes. So all these book illustrations are always personal projects. But I do think that working traditionally has helped my painting skills digitally as well. So in a way I am still improving my digital art, simply because I am improving at painting in general. So here is the finished piece. I think it was good to add the line work. I also used the watercolor pencils for details and to refine more some places, some lines. I think the line work with the actual paint is more useful, but I like that the watercolor pencils allow me to add subtle colors here and there.